What a game. There's a lot of ways we could go about this, but I'll say this. Before I want to say anything, I want to hear more from Scott Franzke. I want to hear this. I want you to hear the sequence of the ninth inning. Because, look, if they lost yesterday, not that big a deal, right? I mean, at some point they're going to lose, and it felt like for a bunch of innings yesterday.
8 innings, in fact.
Yes, right.
8 innings,
right.
8 2/3 innings.
Right.
Okay.
That yesterday was like, all right, this is the L. Until it wasn't. Until with 2 outs in the ninth inning, all hell started breaking loose. Although it started earlier in the inning with Bryce getting it going to lead off the inning. Let's listen to the ninth, and then you can react, and we will react together. 215-592-9494. Let's listen back.
The pitch swung on, hit the other way. It is a fair ball, headed down the left field line. Harper's hustling for second. He's in there with another double. JT tries to keep it alive with 2 outs here in the ninth. Swung on, line to center field. That'll be a base hit. The game left in the hands of Justin Crawford now. 3-1 pitch. And it's down low. Ball 4, and you'll get your chance. As Edmundo Sosa, the former Cardinal, is going to come to the plate representing the tying run. O'Brien is ready. And his 1-2 pitch. Swing and a ground ball. Fair! Past third. It's down the line. 2 runs are going to score. Crawford into third. He's being waved to the plate. Sosa is in at second with a bases clearing double, and this game is still on as the tying run is in scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. It's 4-3. De La Cruz comes to the plate. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, ground ball. It's through. The game is tied. Sosa has scored. Unbelievably, the Phillies have stunned the Cardinals as De La Cruz delivers the game-tying hit in the bottom of the ninth. It's 4-4.
With Schwarber coming to the plate, it's about time for a Schwarbomb.
The 2-2 pitch, swing and a fly ball. Center field, it's got a chance. Church back, out of room.
Yes!
And it's over!
Yeah!
It's over! Kyle Schwarber with a walk-off home run into the hedges in dead center field. And the Phillies have absolutely stunned the Cardinals 6-4 with 6 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Wow.
Awesome. Just absolutely awesome by the Phils. Look, your chance, 215-592-9494. John, what are you thinking, man? All that and by the way, it's not just all that.
Amazing.
It's the prior 8 games. It's the fact that a week and a half ago felt like either the second lowest point of the season or the lowest point. I will tell you this. I can honestly say I felt worse about the Phillies' chances 10 days ago than when they were 9-19. And the reason is this. The clock was ticking on the season. I mean, it was mid-frickin' August, and it looked like there was a real chance they were going to miss the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, 9-19, we were thinking the same thing. But at least there were still 5 months left. A week and a half ago, there was a month and a half left in the season. John, what are you feeling now? Talk to us.
I believe that this team has changed their mindset, changed their approach. This Phillies improvement feels real. It feels like it feels real. That was exhilarating. That might have been my favorite game of baseball that I've ever watched. I could not stop screaming at the television, jumping around. I was watching it with my mom, which made it even greater.
Great. Yeah.
They finally seem to get it. You know, like we've been complaining, like, what are they doing? Why do they keep swinging from their heels? Why are they swinging for the fences? They're now putting the pressure on pitchers to throw strikes, and if they don't throw strikes, we walk. And we trust the guy behind us to bring us home. And you can especially see it. Like, I do believe that Bryce now feels protected, and he is playing accordingly, and everyone else is buying in. I do think Luis Arráez has spearheaded this.
He's made a huge difference.
This shift, you know, the young guys have talked about watching him, learning from him. The old guys they're reaping the benefits certainly as well. You know, yesterday all that was with 2 outs in the ninth.
Yeah,
man.
JT
and
had a big
I hated
weekend.
that we got to that point. Well, JT's been playing really well.
Sosa had a big weekend.
JT has been playing really well offensively. De La Cruz has been good. And I had no idea he could be good.
Right.
Yes, Sosa has been money, and this that's now three straight series. 9 straight games. I mean,
Right.
we swept out 3 straight series, and now I believe once upon a time when we headed west, when we started doing the show, when the Phillies went west, they would lose. It was forget about it. It was going to suck. We just won 3 straight series, swept them out. We have 9 more games on the West Coast, up in Seattle.
Yep.
Then it's the Angels and and the Diamondbacks. I expect to win those series as well. I expect to continue on this path because it is sustainable. We do have the approach that is sustainable, and it all feels so simple, but I guess it's almost impossible to get to this point because no one else is able to do it the way we're doing it right now.
Yeah, look,
we should feel great.
No, I do. It's been beautiful. Now, again, your chance, 215-592-9494, especially if you were down there last night or yesterday afternoon.
And by the way, we're 3 games back. We're 3 games back behind the Braves with 7 games to play against the Braves.
Yeah, no, they're
only 2 behind the Cubs now
They're really in all that. So, a couple ways I look at this. And by the way, thanks to James for filling in salts for the last couple weeks. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Figured
An honor to fill your chair.
I just figured I'd pop on back from the boat and hang out for a week.
Sure.
Oh, if they had lost yesterday, I wasn't allowing you back in. I was already thinking about it.
There were people on Twitter telling me, Rhea, because they won, I'm not allowed back in.
Well, they did go on a run when you left.
But guess what? I'm right here. I'm the one smacking this microphone. Look, a few different ways I look at this whole situation. First off, I love it, obviously. I enjoy it. I actually don't get, this is just me, the baseball fan, too high or too low in a lot of instances. So let me, here's what I mean by that. Here's what I mean. I don't think it dramatically changes their chances for October other than they're going to make October. But there are a couple of specific things that have gone on in the month of August that do bolster my belief. And I'm convinced they got to at least bolster your belief, but they might not convince you. But here's what has changed in August. The Arráez edition was massive. It was absolutely massive. I think Dombrowski deserves a lot of credit for Arráez. He's done a great job. They're batting him 4. John, you brought up the protection for Bryce. A lot of us thought he should bat 1. Frankly, I think they could have him succeed and the top 4 succeed with him 1 or 4. But the 4 thing has generally worked out well. So he's playing well. Harper's playing well. Arráez has changed it. You got a better top 4. Bohm's improvement has been enormous. Now, does that give me hope for October? Well, a little bit more. Because, John, I remember a week ago, when you guys were hosting without me, there were people saying, you can't play the guy anymore. They can't play him. And then all of a sudden he started hitting the ball all over the place. So, of course, there's additional hope there. Nola and Painter. Now, it's more Nola than Painter, but the combination of both of them have been better. Painter, 3 of his 5 starts have been pretty darn good. 1 was okay, 1 was horrible. But Nola has been...
But his last one was his best.
I know, yeah. Nola has been...
1 run.
Yeah.
1 run allowed for over 7.
Nola has been much better. And let's be real, guys. We all know the 4th starter is not going to be Painter. It's going to be Nola. We all know that. So it matters a lot more that Nola's
2021 Nola?
Right.
2022 Nola?
Yeah, so
at the end of the season?
So, yeah, that's big. And by the way, Painter also gives you a chance... Just as for instance, if God forbid you're in another one of those extra inning games against the Dodgers in the playoffs, maybe you can slide him in there and get 2 or 3 innings instead of 1 inning by a reliever, 1 inning by a reliever, 1 inning by Painter and Nola, the combination does help October. All right, better bench. So we talked about this when Arráez was brought in, but one of the things it did is it just kind of pushed everybody down a spot. Bohm instead of batting 4 or 5 or wherever you want to put him, but also you're not as reliant as they used to be on certain players, and you now have such better flexibility. If Arráez is out, I can move. I can play Sosa at second. I can play Stott at second. I can play Bohm at third if I want. I can play Stott at third. I can play Harper at first. I can play Harper at right. I can play Schwarber in left. I can have him DH. I can have him be my first baseman. They were for years, and they're pretty good, but they were so inflexible. They didn't have options. It was here are 8 or 9 guys. Sosa's the only extra guy, and take it or leave it. This is what you got. And it was good enough to be good in the regular season and not good enough in the postseason. I feel like they got so many more options now. This De La Cruz guy, like him and Derek Hill, there's just options now. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and I believe that they'll get it done when they're called upon because they have.
And again, Arráez changed that. Like the Arráez addition changed the whole makeup of the team. So I'm not like crazy bonanza over the roof like they're going to win the World Series when I wake up this morning, because here's the reality. They're going to be playing in the wild card round. They're going to be in a best of 3. The main thing they've done in the last 2 weeks, last 9 days, 9 games, is they're just about in the playoffs.
And they've given themselves a chance for the home wild card series, which they did not have before.
That is right. But, the real work is going to be in October, but it is great to see the surge. It is surprising given where they were a week and a half ago. And, of course, independent of whatever the hell happens in October, this is me, will always cherish the kind of moments like we had yesterday, because that was one of those magical moments. I mean, it just was. It was a magical moment. It was unfreaking believable. And, by the way, Friday night was awesome as well.